Good evening. Welcome. Welcome to the second session of the Cultural Diversity class titled Raising a Child in America. At the end of the year 2014, over 400 refugees are projected to call Sioux Falls their home. This number does not include people who move here as immigrants. These newcomers bring with them various skills and talents that contribute to the growth of this city. Sioux Falls district currently is serving over 21 students who are identified as English language learners. We have parents today who will share the experiences in raising their children in America. And I'm very, very grateful that Sioux Falls School District is willing to give us this opportunity to share experiences with you. And a special thank you to Ben Schumacher for his willingness to tape these sessions to help other educators understand our various cultural diversity here in Sioux Falls. Our guest speakers today, Mr. Tag Podia, Mrs. Chabika Adhikari, Miss Veronica, Maria Dawit. Other two guests will be here shortly representing Burma and Burundi. I'm going to introduce our first guest speaker, Mrs. Chabika Adhikari.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to express my special thanks to Miss Clara for providing me this opportunity to speak or express our opinion, our parents' opinion especially. And today I'm representing Bhutanese parents. So thanks to her for giving me this chance. And let me introduce myself. I'm Chabika Adhikari. I'm originally from Bhutan, but raised in Nepal. And I lived in Nepal in refugee camp almost for 2 decades. And I studied there, I struggled, we had different culture, everything. So that's what I want to introduce and then do accordingly and what our parents are facing here. Though I have a son of 3 years old, I'm not the actual parent that I have been sending my kids to Sioux Falls School District. But I have a lot of experiences working as I work at Extell Park Middle School as an immersion ELLEA, plus I am an interpreter from Lutheran Social Service too. Since I have direct contact with our parents, I think I may try myself to express what their struggle is. So I'm going to present on raising a child in America. So first of all, it seems the problem of language barrier is the most difficult thing that they have been facing. Since, let me tell, 20% of or 25 to 30% of the parents are educated, and almost all the 75% of the parents are illiterate, they have low English level, everything. So they have been facing several problems here. So parents speak their own language at home, but kids, when they started going to school, they pretty soon learn English language and started speaking English completely at home. And there is communication gap between parents and kids, and especially with grandparents if they have at home. So since this age is an information age, but parents are not getting chance to know what is happening, what type of progress their kids are bringing at the school. So I think there should be physical involvement for the parents. They should get at least, the educated parents should get at least some opportunity to come to school and see, let them know what type of educational system or the curriculum that we follow here in America. Because everywhere, technically, everything like language, culturally, everywhere, there is vast difference between here and there in Nepal. Like, for example, what we studied, like I studied in refugee camp until my 10th grade, and I did my college degree, I did my high school, like we say plus 2, 10 plus 2 in different, they say, they compare 10 plus 2 as college, and then I did even 3 years of college from different college. I went to different, like private school like that, but it is really the struggling time technically. I got chance to speak in phone when I was in grade 10. That means we were grown up in such a low, like technical society. So it is really the problem for both the parents and the kids to deal with it. Our kids are misusing their technology here, because they are suddenly getting these facilities everywhere, and they have Chromebooks at the school, and even high school kids, they get chance to take home, and then they have iPad, iPhone, everything with them. And then, like, they misuse technology, it is sure. They tell parents that, because parents are uneducated, they don't know what is going on. And then they said parents that, I am working my work given from my teacher. So parents need to believe, but some of the educated parents, they understand what is going on, what are they doing, and then then instead of showing interest in interacting with parents and other family members, they show interest in internet, and they never focus on education, like their homework or something else. And then parents don't like why they don't get homework, why they are not busy, and then why they started stopping respecting adults. Like, according to my own experience, I work at immersion center. The kids, when there is a regular teacher in the class, like they act differently. But when there is substitute teacher or something like that, they make everything mess up, like they're messy, and then they started being rude to each other. So they are really started following disrespect. They think that they know everything, because our parents are very sincere, very innocent, very illiterate, and they have to seek help from their kids in each and every aspects. Even for a simple bill, filling up simple bill, or like even paying a rent, they have to ask the aid of kids. And they started thinking that we know everything. Our parents, they don't know anything. So they started overtaking. And our culture is kind of strict type. Like, according to the dress up of the kids, especially our parents are a bit frustrated seeing their dress up. And according to my point of view, and to some of the parents' view also, that I talked to some of them last week, that like in Nepal or in Bhutan or in India also, I saw, I don't know about other countries, we have uniform or dress code in the school. But here we don't have any dress code. And then parents started thinking that there might create some environment that if there is separation between rich and poor, like there is started happening competition of dress. Who wears fancy dress are like supposed to be from rich family, something like that. They started thinking, and then this creating like some problem. That's what our parents don't like, because we are from such society, like such culture, So and then these kids, they don't write anything in their assignment notebook or agenda. So even educated parents, it is difficult to see whether they get any homework from the school or not. And what type of educational system do they follow in the school, or what do they learn in the school? They are not sure of anything. Even if kids are gone for the day, it is really difficult for parents to let school know that they are gone for today because they have appointment. Why? Because they have language problem. And they don't get interpreters everywhere, every place, at home or everywhere, So that's been the greatest problem. And as I'm working with immersion kids, those who recently moved to United States, they have lots of problems here in this school too. Their problems are, many problems, or let me say most of the problems are unsolved. They have a lot of freedom here in the United States. It is good to have freedom, but they don't understand what it is, and they always cross the boundary and they do whatever they like, and that's what they don't like. Sometimes our parents are scared of gun violence. Like in Nepal, it was very safe environment. Only the authorized persons are supposed to use gun. But here in the United States, every steps where they move is scary. Though that didn't happen in Sioux Falls yet. We haven't heard anything such bad thing in the Sioux Falls school district, but we hear such thing happening in several states. So they are a bit scared too. So it is better to have safe environment, how to control guns, something like that. So they are talking about that also sometimes. Parents follow their own religion. And then kids, yes, they have freedom. They may follow, if they are interested, they may follow any religion. But suddenly if they started changing the religion, something like that, it brings kind of frustration to the parents, and then it needs to be changed gradually. Sometimes our kids are also considered wrong for the right dates. I saw myself, one of the kids, let me tell another story, like I saw one of the boy doing his homework with his Chromebook, let me say, at home. There was a high school student. But parents were thinking that he was wasting his time. He was just playing in the internet, chatting with friends, something like that, and they were torturing him. So, due to this source of like lack of education, something like that, it is being big issue, and they have been having several problems, disputes within parents and kids at home. I have a short story before I give opportunity to my another friend. It seems like there is less opportunity for the ELL and immersion kids rather than regular kids here in Sioux Falls School District. Like, though only 10% of the kids, our kids, like let me say migrant kids, they show interest in the extracurricular activities and co-curricular activities. Rest, 90% students, they say that we don't know, we don't like to participate. They hesitate, they don't like to participate anyway. But 10% of the kids, those who are interested, should get the chance to participate. Because I have a story of my own niece. She had a dream of acting in a play, and she still has a dream of being the actress in her life. She goes to Roosevelt High School. She studied there for almost 4 years. And then she even told to her teacher that she is interested in participating, acting in the play, something like that. But she never got the chance. And this year she is going to graduate from this school. And she says that she is regretting. She is sad. She's kind of like depressed because I didn't get chance to participate in any of the plays or anything. So how could I do? How could I learn other thing in my college? That's one of the story. So they also should at least 10%. This story only represents the 10% of the kids that I mentioned above. And I have another short story also. Sorry for taking long time here. I have another story also. My another niece, she came from Dallas, Texas to South Dakota. And then she was in freshman. That time she was in freshman. And then, oh no, sophomore. And then she wanted to join the school here in Sioux Falls School District. But when we took her to the school, counselor said her that she has enough credit already. She could, and they wanted to let her go to the seniors directly. And she said, is it okay if I quit, if I skip juniors? She said like that. But he said, you are fine because your credit is already high. He said like that. But later, she was graduated from high school and she wanted to join the college. But every college kept on saying her that she has low credit, so she has to work, she has to go to general classes and everything. And she's very frustrated, and due to her problem, her parents are really frustrated because why there is no clear information, why they don't provide good information to those kids, because they are already new here, they don't know anything about this land, new technical world. But so at least counselors or like schools should provide enough information for the kids and make them ready for their college. That's what our parents wish. So if I keep on speaking like this, it takes, I may take whole day also, because I have a lot of experience. I taught in refugee camp for a year, and I started working here directly in this school with the kids, immersion kids, and I have several such experiences. But we have limited time, so that's it for today. Thank you all. Thank you for having me.
Our next speaker is Mr. Taig Podial. He's also coming from Bhutan and lived in Nepal.
Actually, Chavika Adhikari.
Sit down.
Okay, I think that's.
He's not feeling well.
Yeah,
so
sure.
He's going to take some rest.
I think we are from the same country, and we lived in the same refugee camp, and working almost in the same. She's working in the school district, and I've been helping the school district indirectly or directly. So she has talked most of the things. So I would expect questions from you rather than speaking, but let me talk something. Let me introduce myself. My name is Taig Podial, and at present I've been working with the Lutheran Social Services as a caseworker since I came here. I came here in 2008. I'm a refugee from Bhutan and lived in a refugee camp in Nepal for, yes, as she said, almost 2 decades. So from there I moved directly to South Dakota, and I've been working here as a caseworker and as an interpreter. So let me relate to the topic, like the education system in Bhutan or in the refugee camp and here, and as a parent, what I saw and what I see. Since I have my 3 kids, I have my son. When we came here, he started in the high school, and he graduated, and he has moved to Brookings, and he's doing engineering courses. So I feel proud of him. And I have twin daughters. They went to Jane Addams, then Longfellow, then Exeter Park, then now they are in Washington High School. Just started this year. So I'm pretty short. What I observed in the education system in the refugee camp, there the system is very, very different than here. As she said, here everything is free. I mean, children think that freedom. What the parents over there feel and think and has been practiced is everything is done by the school, like the children. All like disciplining, education, everything is done by the school. I'm just comparing. But here, teachers, I mean the school expects contribution from the parents. So there is the problem for the parents, I mean during this transition phase. So anything that is being done, like if the parents can't discipline their children at home, they will report to the principal or the head of the school or a headmaster. So everything is done by the school. So it becomes easy for the parents. So children are scared from teachers. So that makes them discipline or everything. So they have to do homework, and if they don't do homework, the discipline is different, but obviously it is not good practice. They get beating or anything like that, different punishment, which is against the law in America. So it is there. So when they come here during the transition phase, it is a freedom, yes. So it's really difficult for parents to discipline their own children. So what I observed, since I'm working as a case worker, and I have a linkage with the school district. Every time when I go there, because I help the children to register the children to the school district. So what I see from there, the children who haven't gone to school back in the refugee camp or back country, if they have just started, it becomes easy for them to learn or to catch up the American system. That's what I observed, and to catch up the accent. Those who are in the middle phase, like here in America, children are placed in such a grade as per their age, but there it is not like that. They are failed as many times as possible. Say for example, 19-year-old children recently, I don't want to give the name or whoever it is, she or he was in grade 6, 19-year-old child or teenage. So here that person will be placed, will get or not, I don't know. If that person is admitted, then he or she will be in grade 9. So the gap, just see the gap. So that will be a big challenge. So it depends also, like as Chavika already said, illiteracy of the parents, and parents need to work to sustain their life. So it is hard for them to guide their children what they are doing, and as I said before, their expectation is school will be doing everything for them, but it is otherwise. School expects parents to guide them and to educate them. It is sharing. That's what I feel. So there is a gap. And another point I want to point out is education system. There we study in a British style or whatever British medium or whatever what you call or say is. There the exam system, how the children were upgraded depends upon the examination or the test. You study whole year, like say for example, ninth, like SLC means school living certificate, or whatever it is. Whole ninth grade and 10th grade syllabus will be examined in just one sitting examination. So it is really tough for the student to catch up or grasp or anything to write or remember. So they are not evaluated on a daily basis. So I feel, I'm just trying to compare. So I feel it's not good to judge the knowledge of the children just with one sitting. But here, the children are evaluated on a daily basis. That's what I observe. And the teaching practice, actually, even I am educated, and my daughters or the son used to ask me how to do this. I try to teach them, but they don't accept me. because the process, how I was involved or how I was practiced, it doesn't match with the American system. So that is the difference. And with the accent also, I try to pronounce something. No, you have to say something. So I just want to, I just challenge with them. You know everything. You are better than me, but you won't be able to. I'm better than you in spelling. That's all. Nothing more than that. So I just make a joke with my kids when I make a call or when I talk with the people. That's not the way to pronounce, you know. I feel so. I'm learning from my kids also now, but it's really hard to catch up for the people like my age. So we have to see the age group also, you know, how they will be involved with the education system and what they will do when they grow up. So it's not putting them in the grade, in particular grade as per the age, and expecting that person to catch up all thing. To graduate when he or she reaches the age of 21 or something, you know, high school, something like that. So it's really hard for them. And another thing that what I saw was, as a caseworker, and we are the ones to take the children to school district for enrollment and testing. Now, parents or the children, they will ask, will I get a chance to go to school? So since my coming, I think 3 times the system has changed. Like, if the child is between has reached the age of 18. Previously, when I first came here, if the child is below 21 years old, he will be enrolled to school. It is there. So next time they have changed the system. If the child has reached age 18, they are totally denied for the enrollment. Then afterwards, and those children, they are still here. Then afterwards, they have put a system like, if they have a credit from their country, they will count on that. So it makes us really hard to give them judgment or answer. Why, like when we came here, we were denied, but this person got admission. So it becomes really hard for us to answer, but we'll say that it is the school district rules. We have nothing to do with that. That's how we answer to them. So I think, in short, I'm done. If you have any questions, or we have other friends too.
Thank you, Tag. And now we're going to move on to Burundi. We have our guest speakers, a couple, husband and wife, Reverend Alphonse and his wife, Helen. Who wants to go first? Do you want to speak first?
First of all, I do appreciate for all of you guys today because you invite us to be here and to speak to you about our culture in Burundi. I come right because I have something to do. have something to do in our church. That's why I come right. But I will be here a little bit of time. Then I have to leave. Also, before I continue, I'm just asking you to forgive me because my English is not better. But if you doesn't much understand, you can ask her. She can tell you. My name is Niyonzima Alphonse, Niyonzima, and the last name is Alphonse, Alphonse. I'm from Burundi. I born 1960. I am a man. I have wife. We have 9 kids, 5 boys and 4 girls. So we've been in refugee camp from 1972. The war when we come in our country, we left our country to go in Tanzania. We stayed there almost 30-something years. Then we came in America. But I'm just talking a little bit about Burundi, Burundi is a small country, but we have almost 8 million people in the country, and then we have 15 provinces or states. Also, we speak one language. The one language is connected everybody. Also, we have couple language. It's not our language. We speak Swahili, we speak French, we speak Kirundi, and English a little bit. It's not much. Now they start speaking English. But most people, we speak Kirundi. Even my wife, she speaks Kirundi and Swahili. So in our culture, I'm going to start from to school. When we go to school, I go to school from 1968. I go to school, but how we measure the children who are able to go to school? For that time, they can't use reading or everything we do. It's different in America, but in that time, they use something measurement. They can lift your hand and ask you to turn your hand. If you touch this ear, that means you need to go to school. If you not, you can't. That's why they was doing in our culture. Even until now, they measure who is able to go to school. They measure if he left his hand and touched his ear. That's why he's ready to go to school, to start kindergarten. So in education, we have, we start kindergarten and primary school, then high school, college, and university. But I'm just talking about a little bit about different for America and Burundi. For education in Burundi, in my country, I'm going to say that some people, they think maybe, it's not you, I'm sorry. Some people, they say maybe Africa, they don't have education for school. We have education for school. Our children, people, they go to school, they learn a lot. But if you left some country and go another country, for that country you go in, they think maybe you don't know nothing. But we know something. Even you left this country, maybe you go Burundi, because the people that speak Kirundi, you don't understand anything. Maybe they can say, he's nothing, but it's not. But there's something we have to understand. Every country, they have different cultures. So our culture for school, teacher, he should have 35 people, children, in his class. And those children, he should control himself and make sure all of them, they doing everything asked them to do. Also, we doesn't use this system you have here in America, computers, and we don't have that. But from kindergarten to college until university, we still use blackboard. We use blackboard like that one. Then teacher, he should stand with a blackboard and writing. Everything right there, and the children took pen and writing. Everything teacher give them to do, even university. So he can. Though also they can learn 3 courses for one time. It's not like America. If you wanna talk maybe learn about mathematics, you can go for mathematics, no more. But in Burundi, no. You have to learn everything. You have to learn everything. So then they can measure which one you match, which one you catch. So yourself, you can choose. But you can choose. If you are going to need to be a teacher, you have to learn everything. You can't go to be a teacher until you know everything. So you have to know everything, because they can ask you to go to teach in college. They can ask you to go teach in university. So you have to know a lot of things for the school. So teachers, they have to be very strong for make sure they learn a lot. And the student too, they have to be strong to learn. So something I saw is different for our kids and American kids and Burundian kids. Everything here in America, it's look like easy, because go to school easy. They use computer. They use, even in mathematics, they use calculating. But in Burundi, we have calculating, but you can't use calculating. No, you have to use pen. Use your sense. If they catch you use calculating, send you home. You have to use your sense. But here, everything they use calculating. That's why it's different. This one, two. For how the children they respect teacher. In Burundi, teacher standing in front of for them, they have to respect and obey him or her. And no any children can turn this side or this side to do anything. They have to watch teacher what he say, what she say. But sometimes here in America, sometimes people, children talking, do something, laughing, praying in the class. Teacher, he look them and he keep going another children. He done, maybe sometimes he don't care about him. That's why in Burundi he's not. Teacher here, he have to watch them what they do, and give them some homework to do. And he should give them homework, talk to home, and do homework in their home. This is something that's different in America and Burundi. So another thing's culture. Here in America, children, they have freedom over and over and over. It's good. But if you give children freedom over and over and over, sometimes for him in the future, no good. Because he doesn't thinking about next, because maybe you are rich, everything. He doesn't know or so to make himself to be tired. But in Africa, in Burundi, we have to recommend our children to work very hard in school to make sure when I am going to be old, he can take care of me. And when now I have to take care of them before I'm going to be old. So when they grow up, they have to take care of me. That's why I have to use my power to make sure they go to school, they learn, they understand everything, so they get education, they get a job, they become to be a businessman, or a lot of things they can do. So when I get old, they can help me, or they can help in the family to be help them for some problem. So this is something I found is different, because I started saw our kids now when they came here in America, they started losing our culture, how we was doing in Burundi. Myself, when I go to school, 1968, I go to school. 2 years after 2 years with the war coming, I left my country. I didn't go to school, but when we go to the camp, I go to school again. But we was having different time to go to school, because they tell us they don't need to learn our language. They ask us to learn their language, so it was very hard. But even they ask us to do, but we try best we can to use our language in the class to make sure we can't forget our language. So I didn't have a high level in school, but I go until high school. Then, because the camp was not good, so I didn't continue to go to college, but I go to high school. Also, my dad, he was a teacher. He was trying to help me to go to school as well, and I try my best. I try my best. Then I help my kids to make sure themselves they learn a lot of things. So, for America, is rich country. Everything is easy, and in Burundi, I can say 85%. Everything is free. You can pay any money. Our children go to school from kindergarten and all primary school. It's free. Everything is free. Everything is free. They give them clothes. They give them pen and exercise books. Everything is free. In college, government pay half, and your parent pay half. If you don't have money, they can find some agents. You can earn money. Then after you done school, you pay them. Or they can give you job. Then you can pay their money. So Burundi, it's a small country, but we have a lot of things in Burundi. Here in America, we don't have it. Same thing. America, they have a lot of things. Burundi, we don't have. So I can say our children and the American children and Burundian children, it's different little bit, because everything here for children is free and easy to learn. But in us, Burundi, we have something free, but it's very hard to learn, because we have to use the children. He needed to use his knowledge to do everything, and receive helping from the teacher. Also, the teacher help children to learn more and more, to give them homework and they can follow them home and make sure the homework they give to them, they're doing, or they have some groups that they make in every school, they send for every family to make sure the children are going to school, they learn everything they give them, they receive from the school. So, and they try to help. Something is very hard for them. If this family is poor, they can do anything, so they send someone help them to learn. That's why our culture and the American culture is different, just a little bit. I can say it's different much because you guys, you are rich, but we are poor, but we are not poor. We don't have much things we have like you have, but we have something we can say. They help our people to grow up and to reach the place they need to reach. So before I done, if someone who got question can ask, we can answer.
Thank you, Reverend Alphonse. And Helen, do you have anything to say or add? No? Well, thank you so much for your word of wisdom, and I hope we as adults in this room will take any advice or comments we heard as a way of helping us understand where our newcomers, families, and students are going through in getting adjusted, acculturated in our community.